To solve a problem 4 in the worksheet of chapter 14, we have Greenwood firm has a better leverage. Okay, this means that there is a debit at a debit of 42 at a debit ratio of 42%. So the better leverage is for the debit 42%, and the interest rate is 6% at this level, and the before tax interest rate, and the earning per share is $2.55. The company needs to study how the weighted average cost of capital can change if the level of debit changes to, okay, if the debit level changes to 35% and the interest rate remains at 6%, and the earning per share turns to be $2.10. We have the risk-free is 5%, and the market risk premium is 6%, and the taxes is 40%. So first, in part A, we have to calculate the beta unleverage. How we can calculate the beta unleverage? So we have to refer to the formula of the beta leverage equal to beta unleverage into 1 plus 1 minus tax percent multiplied by debit to equity ratio. So that's how we can calculate the beta leverage. So first, according to the current debit ratio is 42% with a beta leverage 1.25. So we can get the debit to equity. So the debit to equity equal to debit ratio over 1 minus debit ratio. So it's equal to 0.442 over 1 minus 0.42, which is the current debit ratio 42%. So it's equal to 0.724, which is the debit to equity at this debit ratio. Then we solve for beta unleverage. So the beta leverage is 1.25. So it's equal to beta unleverage into 1 plus 1 minus tax percent 0.4 multiplied by this debit to equity ratio that we have calculated 0.724. Then we can get the beta unleverage equal to 0.872. So that's how we can calculate the beta unleverage using the beta leverage formula. Then he asks in part B to calculate the weighted average cost of capital and the price per share at the current debit ratio, which is 42% debit ratio. So the weighted average cost of capital using the formula for the weighted average cost of capital. So it's equal to the weight of debit multiplied by RD, which is the cost of debit times before tax times 1 minus tax percent plus the weight of equity multiplied by the cost of equity. The cost of equity is simply equal to risk-free plus beta leverage, since there is a debit 42%. So we use the beta leverage multiplied by market risk premium. Then RS equal to the risk-free 5% plus the beta leverage at this level is given 1.25 multiplied by market risk premium 6%. So RS will equal to 12.5%. Then the weighted average cost of capital equal to 0.42, which is the weight of debit, multiplied by RD, which is 6.5%, multiplied by 1 minus tax percent, which is 0.4. So we used the cost of debit is 6%. Okay, then multiplied by 1 minus 0.4 plus 1 minus 0.42, which is the weight of equity, multiplied by 12.5%. So we will get the weighted average cost of capital equal to 9.01%. And in order to calculate the price per share, so based on the formula of the price per share, So the price per share equal to the earning per share over the cost of equity or RS. So it's simply equal to 2.55, which is the given earning per share at the debit ratio 42%, over the calculated cost of equity, which is 12.5%. So it's 0.125. So the price per share at this level will equal to $20.4. Then in part C, calculate the weighted average cost of capital and the price per share at 35% debit ratio. So first of all, at debit 35%, we need a new beta leverage. So the beta leverage is equal to beta unleveraged into 1 plus 1 minus tax percent debit to equity. So it's equal to the beta unleveraged that we have calculated in part A into 1 plus 1 minus 0.4 multiplied by the debit to equity of at debit ratio 35%, which is equal to 0.35 over 1 minus 0.35. So it's equal to 0.5385. So we use this debit to equity ratio, and then we get the beta leverage equal to 1.154. Then the cost of equity RS equal to the risk-free 5% plus the beta leverage at the debit 35%, which is 1.154 multiplied by the market risk premium, so it's equal to 11.925%. Then the weighted average cost of capital equal to the weight of debit, which is equal to 35% multiplied by 6%, which is the cost of debit multiplied by 1 minus tax rate plus 1 minus the cost of debit, which is 1 minus the weight of debit, which is the weight of equity, multiplied by the cost of equity, calculated cost of equity. So it's equal to 9.01%. And in order to calculate the price per share, so it's equal to the earning per share over the cost of equity. So it's equal to 2.10, which is the earning per share at debit 35% over the cost calculated cost of equity. So it's equal to $17.61. In part D, is asking which debit ratio is better for the firm to rely on. So at debit 42%, we have a lower weighted average cost of capital, since based on calculation, we have at 8.762, okay, and a higher price per share, which is 20.4. So a lower weighted cost of average cost of capital and a higher price per share. So we use the debit ratio 42% and we stay on using it.